And so Zacharias, he just doubted. But what did God do? God answered. Verse 19. See, God is a God of mercy. God is a God of grace, an amazing grace. The angel answering said unto him, I'm Gabriel. That I stand in the presence of God. That stand in the presence of God and am sent to speak unto thee and to show thee these glad tidings, this good news. The angel identifies himself as Gabriel, and he reassured Zacharias that this good news was from God. He said, I'm the one who stands in the presence of God. I'm all the proof you need. God sent me. By the way, the only other angel mentioned in Scripture is Michael. And so God said, okay, I'll give you a sign. Verse 20 and 22. This is God's grace. This is God's mercy. And so, behold, you shall be dumb or silent, not able to speak, until the day that these things shall be performed or happen. Because thou believest not my words, which shall be fulfilled in their season. He said, okay, Zacharias, since you don't believe me, you're just going to have to be silent now. And while this is happening, the people, verse number 21, waited for Zacharias, and they marveled that he tarried or he stayed so long in the temple. And when he came out, he could not speak unto them, and they perceived or they realized that he had seen a vision in the temple, for he beckoned. In other words, he's making signs unto them, and he remains speechless. He's unable to talk. It was kind of like God saying, okay, Zacharias, just be quiet for a while and watch God work. The psalmist said, be still and know that I am God. Experience that I am God. Zacharias' inability to speak till the fulfillment of Gabriel's message was some degree punishment for his unbelief. Zacharias is talking, and the people are waiting. And then when Zacharias finally did come out of the temple, the people have realized that he's seen a vision. He can't speak now. His facial expression, his bodily language, it showed that something traumatic had happened. He couldn't verbally pronounce the customary blessing. Can you imagine? He's been in there talking to this angel, and now he goes out to the people, and nothing.
Hello?
Total frustration. I think there's another life lesson we learn. That is, our impossibilities set the stage for God to do his best work. You see, he's the same God back with Zacharias as he is in 2020. And our impossibilities, and we've got a lot of them, they set the stage for God to do his best work. Sometimes righteous people do have disappointments. Sometimes even good people have doubts about God's promises. God never guaranteed that life will come without pain or without disappointment. The central issue is, how do we handle it? And what is the situation that you're facing today that just seems to be out of control? I remind you that God does his best work in our impossible situations. And so you can trust his word. Get ready, because God's going to do something really great and amazing. In the midst of doubt, there's mercy, there's grace. And we come to verses 23 through 25, and we find the accomplishment of the task. The one who would announce the Messiah is actually coming. And it came to pass, verse 23, that as soon as the days of his ministration or his service were accomplished, his service is now completed, he departed, or literally he returned to his own house. After those days, his wife Elizabeth conceived. She became pregnant. She hid herself or remained in seclusion 5 months, saying, "Thus hath the Lord dealt with me in the days wherein he looked on me to take away my reproach among men or among all the people." And so Zacharias goes home. He returns to his home in Judah's hill country, and he's finished his temple duty. You got to think in your mind that although he's unable to speak, he certainly shared with Elizabeth what had happened in the temple and the destiny of a son that they would have, whose name was John. And so verse 24 tells us that Elizabeth conceived. And here's the first of many miracles that would really change this new era. We don't know how long until Elizabeth became pregnant. I want to say it wasn't very long at all. And her time in seclusion